The flesh you built your temple upon is crumbling. That is the message from the astral, and it's giving very much so tower vibes. And other archetypes too came out in the message, but it's very much so tower-esque. So we're gonna get into it. I have a message for you guys, an astral message for you guys, and then I also have a short channeled message for you guys. I want to pull from I want to pull from Rebel Heart Tarot, which is one of two of my decks that I associate with Aquarius. Not because the maker intended it to be that way, but Rebel Heart, it very much so gives off Aquarius vibes. So, and then I also want to pull from Astral Realms because I didn't last time. It's actually Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. And then I'm going to pull from Other World because Neptune in Aries. All right, so we're also going to get into some of the planetary aspects at play too, and how this message is exactly on par with some of the energies at play, which is kind of exciting right now. Even though we're still technically in the year of the snake, we're still shedding the last skins until February 17th is when we officially move into the year of the fire horse. And then, of course, the new year doesn't actually start until around the end of March. So let's get into the message from the astral. The flesh, the flesh you built your temple upon is crumbling. Haunting, huh? Ominous. It's actually kind of exciting though once we dive in. Um, the flesh having to do with, actually, first let's get into some of the planetary aspects because I feel like it's really relevant to the message that was received. So first off, we have a stellium in Aquarius. Of course, we have the sun in Aquarius right now, in Pluto, which is where it's going to be for 2 decades. But we also have Mars, Mercury, Venus. There's 5 planets. Well, not in, the sun's not really a planet, but um, semantics. We have 5 planets in Aquarius right now, which is huge. The Mars and Pluto alone, that's the tower in tarot. It's ruled by Mars and Pluto. It's very scorpionic. But also air with, of course, Aquarius is an air sign, but it represents the swords in tarot and has to do with the intellect and thought and the mind and um, all things, and fast moving too. Air is fast, but it's very much so the mind and how we think and how we identify, how our perspective, if you will. So we have the stellium in Aquarius, and then we also have Neptune that just moved back into Aries, which is where it'll be for the next 14 years. And that's huge because well, it's nothing anybody's ever experienced in their lifetime. There's nobody old enough to have experienced Neptune and Aries. It's been over 165 years. So since Neptune has seen Aries, and of course, Aries is ruled by the first house. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and very much so has to do with identity and the self. So, which is really huge with us coming into a year one, ending a whole 9-year cycle with the shedding of the skin, and then coming into a whole new year one with Neptune in Aries. So, when you think of Neptune, you think of its, well, characteristics of Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and it's ruled by Neptune. And it has to do with illusions and dreams. It's very fantastical. So when you have a watery, illusionary, mystical planet, it's also very mystical. When you have that in a sign like Aries, which is when you think of Aries, think of I like to think of like self-actualization. Also, the Emperor in tarot, and the Emperor is very much so about your is about leadership, and also the Fool, taking the leap, taking bold action, and it's very fiery and on par with the Fire Horse, and momentum, passion driven, bold, and innovative. And when you mix it with dreams and illusions, you get an opportunity to um, turn your dreams into reality. So it's a big deal. It's um, it's quite interesting. So let's get into our message though, because it's very much so in alignment with the energies at play. So it's kind of exciting. When you think of flesh um, in metaphysical terms always has to do with like identity, roles we play, form, and density. It's also associated with survival structures. I made notes, so I'll be looking down a little bit. But survival structures, attachments to how something appears or has been maintained. But think role and form and identity. And then the temple is what we devote ourselves to, what we center meaning around, and safety, structures, reverence. Um, why do I feel like I have to sneeze? Oh my God. Excuse me. That was the longest sneeze ever. Safety and reverence, devotion, what we identify or what we ascribe meaning to. And then, of course, and so again, the, the message was the flesh you've built your temple upon is crumbling. So I automatically think tower vibes, something's coming, something's crumbling. So the foundation, in other words, the foundation um, we've been worshiping or relying on can no longer hold what our soul is becoming. It's a necessary crumbling or dissolution, which very much so reminds me of the shedding of the snake. A dissolution before transmutation, before the alchemy can can take place. So an initiation, basically. And as the witness, the observer, because it was very much so an observer role, it's awareness. It's something that it's like an underlying awareness that we have within us that this is happening. It's like an innate awareness that you may not be able to place or not place, but name. But it's something that you carry within you, within your DNA, within your remembrance. Um, um, so, as the observer, it's already in our conscious awareness, and it's not as collapsing, but recognizing the collapse. So, we're not collapsing as a society, as a whole, as a collective, um, but rather something that we're recognizing that's happening around us. We're just hanging on for dear life. As the earth ascends, as us being attachments to the earth, we are ascending and evolving as well. So you may find yourself outgrowing old dynamics of yourself, of self concepts, and recognizing um, roles that you've played, or your identity is shifting or changing, or asking yourself, um, or having revelations and awakening, having certain uh, revelations to yourself and what you're not, or what you're no longer, things that you no longer identify with. So an old way of being held together by effort, an image, or endurance is ending, is the message. And the truth the truth is asking for a new foundation that's supported with Aries, with Neptune moving into Aries. And it's asking for less density and more soul. So once we get a little bit, I'm going to get into the archetypes a little bit of the tarot that present itself in the unpacking of this. But when you think about form losing its form, crumbling, then there's less of it. It's lighter. It's like the so when you think of nine being the end, the completion of something in tarot, you think of like the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Wands, which is like the absolute breaking point. The Nine of Wands is like the wounded warrior. The war is over. And then the Ten of Wands is the burden, the burden being laid to rest, or a heavy burden. And same thing with any of the tens, really. It's completion. The ten of swords, it's like the absolute dead end of something, a painful ending. um and then you have the Ten of Cups, the ultimate fulfillment, the ultimate emotional fulfillment. The Ten of Pentacles is your legacy and what you're leaving behind. It's the end of a very long cycle. So when we get into some of the archetypes, of course, the core archetype is the Tower. And it isn't destruction for punishment, but rather truth correcting architecture that was never meant to hold the soul long term. And then the hidden archetype, which, is judgment. So when you think of judgment in the tarot, it is the awakening. It's it appears when something's being named aloud, when you're able to see something clearly. It's an awakening, a soul awakening, that it's a level of truth that's announced, in where the old identity cannot pretend um, that it hasn't outgrown something. So again, as the earth evolves, and as being extensions of the earth, we're evolving as well. We're evolving as a humanity. We're rising in consciousness. So that's going to mean less density, more soul, um, and less weight. So judgment is the hidden archetype, and it's irreversible. It's something that it's, I mean, once you shed the skin, it's not like something you can put back on. It no longer fits. It's a role that no longer fits. So um, you may be finding yourself again identity shifting and realizing outdated roles that you've played in the past no longer fit going further. Um, the temple motif, the the archetype associated with the temple is the Hierophant in reverse. The Hierophant, of course, has to do with higher learning and institutions like, for example, government, schools, religions. Um, that's all uh, dissolving or changing. So, um, a temple built on flesh suggests devotion to form over essence. So this dissolution is asking for, again, more essence, more soul, and less form. we're going to be identifying more with our true nature, which is our divinity, and not the egoic mind who, you know, may have gone to school for however many years to get a fancy degree and get a fancy job, and that you've had for decades and decades, and that's been your role. That's who you identify as. You are a doctor, you are a teacher, a mother, a father, you know, whatever roles we've played. Um, we're going to start viewing these things a little bit more fluidly and as they truly are, which is assignments, design assignments, honestly, um, and lessons we incarnate with the people we choose to incarnate with as a unit to teach us soul lessons. And um, a lot of us have incarnated with the same people, with the same souls over and over again, and play different roles to each other. So rules, roles, traditions that once uh, worked, um, but now limit growth and evolution. So collectively, this challenges spirituality, religions, religious structures, um, relationship roles, gender power, provider, caretaker roles, anything that any of these containers that put limitations on or tradition on how things have always been done. That's what's being uprooted and changed. And um, it's not destroying. It's not the process of destroying faith or religion, but it's really liberating us and um, from these outdated containers and restraints, and opening us up essentially to the truth of it, which is we are the temple. You know, your body is your temple. We are the temple. Your soul houses your temple. So the alchemical resolution, the alchemical resolution archetypes is death and the star, which, you know, the star is death is the end in order for something to be reborn. So I like to think of it as, because what we're experiencing is like um, what you would experience in death. It's like an awakening. So, an incarnation, a reincarnation within your current incarnation without having to physically pass away and die in order to experience. So, which is normally the case. In order to experience a new incarnation, one would have to die, physically die off. And now, you know, there's enough evidence out there. This is scientific. This isn't just me throwing out stuff. It's been proven that there is life after death. So it doesn't end here. We are not, our consciousness is not this body. Our consciousness is not our brain. Our brain is just simply the transmitter. So, and the receiver, we're receivers actually. So, um, what is consciousness? Where does it come from? If we're not, our consciousness is not our body, it's not our brain, and it doesn't die. It's something that it's an energy that cannot be destroyed. So it just transforms. So uh, death is the archetype, and that's not the end. It's the star. The star is what's next, which is, of course, related to Aquarius in tarot. And the star represents renewal, hope, regeneration, rebirth. So perfectly on par with the energy with this stellium in Aquarius. So, and of course, death is like the final shedding of the skin, which is constricting right now. I don't know about I don't know about y'all, but I feel it. I feel like I'm ready to be into. I'm ready for the final shedding, and I'm ready to be into the new year. I'm ready to be in the momentum of the new year of the fire horse. So the star is rebuilding. It's rebuilding devotion on truth, not effort. It's hope, renewal, and regeneration. So again, with us coming into a year one, and with Neptune moved into Aries, that's very much so an opportunity to begin. It's like the child's the self actualization of the child becoming the emperor, which in which is the full which is um, Aries energy. And of course, again, that represents authority, your own authority, taking back your power, your own authority in your life. It's leadership, stability, um, purpose. It's self mastery. If you think about the emperor, he represents all four of the kings, all four suits. So it's mastery over matter, over emotions, over intellect, and over passion and drive. So, and using those elements to create what you want to create in your life. Um, all right, so post flesh authenticity. This is the star energy, post flesh authenticity. And if you look at the depiction of the star in the original Rider Waite, she is naked. The water bearer, she's naked and holding these jugs. Um, I recently painted the star. If you haven't seen, if mm, well, I was gonna say if you check out my TikTok, which is the same name as my YouTube, Phoenix Rising Alchemical Tarot. I have a painting that I did of the star recently, which is selenite infused, which is very high vibe, self clearing. Anyway, all right. So collective themes in this archetype. Um, this is before or right now, really. um, it's burnout from carrying identities that are outgrown and over functioning, um, outdated survival based on effort and strain, relationships based on survival instead of resonance, spiritual systems losing authority when they lack embodiment. We have a lot of these spiritual and religious institutions where you have, regular people, preaching, but they don't have any embodiment. They don't practice what they preach. They don't believe what they preach. And it's become just a bunch of dogma with that's not rooted in an um, ancient truth. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not discrediting religion. However, it has been manipulated and skewed, um, not for our advantage, not to our advantage, but for control and and money, power and money. It's not all bad. It's served its purpose, but again, we're outgrowing these systems because we are evolving as a species. So, and getting back to our true nature and what actually is true. So, people realizing they are the temple, not the form they maintain. So, um, identity release, sacred truths, and necessary collapse is the theme of the message from the astral. Neptune and Aries, real quick, pushes us to act on what has been revealed by dissolution. So Aries, that Aryan energy is really gonna empower us to build after the crumbling, you know. So what are we building, and how will it be built on truth and something um, based on spirit and closer to our divinity and our true nature. So spirit, it's like spirit meeting. If you think of Neptunian energy as being synonymous with spirit, it's and then Aries, self-will. So spirit meeting self-will. Dreams turn into action or dissolve out of lack of clarity. It demands courage and sovereignty of self. All right, so that's our message the tower, from the tower, returning from the astral. So now I have a short channeled message for you guys. That is, let me get comfortable. I have paint on my shirt. So the channeled message for you guys is the initiation invitation to the uninvited. The initiation invitation to the uninvited. Okay? All right, so I'm going to read this to you. When I look into your mind, I see a chaotic mess, so complex, as if space itself blew up the universe and tried to piece the stars and planets back together with gum, tape, and into mismatched shapes. So much clutter and debris. No wonder you can't see where you're going. Your intuition, think of your intuition like the map, and your heart is your compass. I was writing really fast, so I'm trying to read my own writing. So tidy and contained on the outside of your vessel, but creating worlds of chaos and destruction on the inside, which echoes throughout the cosmos. Your bioelectric field creates landmines across the galaxy. Your instrument sounds like heavy metal, unwelcomed in the divine orchestra. Until you learned to play, your full power was cloaked away. You've been our muse, but felt unseen. You've demonstrated such magic and beauty, but felt powerless. Why is it you can only see yourself through the lens of another? Your beauty, your rarity, your uniqueness, constantly seeking external validation, outsourcing your inherent worth and divine gifts. You are a child of the divine, royal, royal. I can't remember the name of that show now, but there's a show. I watched with Josh Brolin. It was so good, and his name was Royal in the show, and they had this accent, and every time his family they would call him or pronounce his name, it'd be Royal. I can't remember the name of the show. It's bugging me. Anyway, I don't know what kind of accent that is. They were in Wyoming, but it sounded like Southern or something. Anyway, I digress. Royal dormant DNA. You are coming back online. You are seen and you are heard and you are guided. Act as if learning, act as if learning and tuning your instrument to play oh, act as if you act as if and know and I can't read my own writing. Oh my god. Learning and tuning your instrument to play in the divine orchestra. Oh, okay. Act as if you're invited and learning and tuning your instrument to play in the divine orchestra because you are invited to play. What will you create? I don't know why that was so hard to get out. I couldn't read nothing. All right. So that's our channeled message. Hopefully it was clear enough. um, Now I want to pull for you guys from Rebel Tarot. What energy, what is supporting you during this transition, during these last final shedding of the skin, the shedding of the snake before getting into the year of the fire horse? What energy is supporting you during this time? Thank you, Spirit. What energy is supporting the collective during this time? I want it to come out, but it did not. What energy is supporting the collective during this time? That wanted to come out, but it did not. Okay, there we go. The Empress. Let's see if we have maybe one more. Oh, lovely. Okay, so we got in the Chariot. So we got the Empress, the Lovers, and the Eight of Pentacles with the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. The Chariot with the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So with the Empress, that's very nurturing, grounded energy. Venus, the Empress is ruled by Venus. So, and the Lovers, of course, the Lovers is conscious choice and masculine, feminine, balancing masculine and feminine energies and balance within yourself also. And then with the Empress coming out, it's very nurturing and loving. So it really alludes to stepping into your heart and creating from a heart space, really connecting to the frequency of love and balance. Balance is huge. Eight of Pentacles is about self mastery, which is relevant with Aries energy, with that first house self um, identity. So this is really uh, yes, it's we collaborate and we interact with each other, and relationships are important, but um, change begins with each individual person. And in order to make a difference as a collective, it begins with our own individual actions and how we show up. So, consciously creating and self mastery and planting seeds that we want to grow and nurturing them. The Empress is see how she's pregnant here. Um, she she's very nurturing and abundant and able to manifest and grow, and it's a receptive energy as well. So be receptive to guidance and your intuition, and order to use that intuition um, as your map and your heart as your compass. And what's going to really aid you is self mastery and discipline. The Chariot is momentum and will, using your will and balancing opposing forces internally and externally. I'm really close. I don't feel close to the camera, but then when I when I see it on the screen, I'm like, damn, I'm really close. I wish I could just sit back a little, even though it's a little further back. But anyway, it's reining in opposing forces though within you, and that reflects externally as well. And then the Knight of Pentacles is very grounded and deliberate in his movements. So even though you have a fast moving energy, it's really needing to ground and stay balanced within that so that you can um, stay conscious and deliberate in your choices, and maybe needing to stop and think before acting, because Aries can be a very impulsive energy as well. And then we have the energy changing with the fire horse that's coming in. That's going to be a lot of momentum and fire and air. Fire and air. When you get fire and air, you get, you can get big flames. So, and with the energy being focused on the self, there's there's a lot of shadow aspect to that as well, because we do use each other as mirrors of each other. So there's going to be a lot of projection, and you know awakening isn't fun. It's when you're a lot of people don't like change, or it's not easy. It's not easy to change. We're creatures of comfort and routine, and when our ideologies are challenged and some truths are uprooted or changed, or there's going to be resistance. So expect a lot of there's some shadow to that, but if you could stay grounded and start with yourself and self mastery, and if each individual does that, then the more harmonious we could be. All right, so that's our tarot. Let's pull one from the Astral Crystal Oracle, and then I'll pull one from Otherworld. I don't think I'll do one from Unicorns. We're doing good on time. I want to keep it that way. All right, these cards are great. Look how they have the rose gold on the edges. I cleaned out my decks. I went through my decks and my books yesterday. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And I got rid of 12 decks. I only got rid of decks that I don't really use or have any sentimental value to. I'm just trying to make energetic space. And I'll probably go through my closet as well. As you can see, my tree is still up. This is the last time until the end of the year. This is the last time you'll see those tree lights in the reflection of my window. They're coming down on Sunday. I'm that person that leaves my tree up until February. All right, what do we have for the collective spirit? What guidance do we have for the collective? Hopefully that's not too loud. It's too many. Just one. All right, one more shuffle. There we go. Divine Love, Soul Star Chakra. Soul Star Chakra. I believe that's the one above the crown, the divine chakra. Downloads but let me read it. Downloads and guidance, your spirit guides too. So this is 16. 16 is the Tower in tarot, and reduces to a 7, which is the Chariot. So, and I turned right to it. Look at that. Ha! Pink Amethyst, Soul Star Chakra, True Purpose, Self-Acceptance, Divine Path. Divine love is transcendent and sacred, and showing and experiencing it is an act of supporting yourself and others completely and entirely, helping you to make a connection on a deeper spiritual level. The energy, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that. Where am I? The energy of divine love is tangible and around you at all times. It is never depleted or inaccessible. and all you have to do is be open and ready to receive it. Pink amethyst stimulates, activates, and opens the soul star chakra, so you're able to act upon your intuition, which in turn allows you to be guided by your experiences. Pink amethyst puts emphasis on healing, patience, and love, and allows you to fully align with your soul's purpose and path, radiating divine love in a way that allows you to accept yourself and others without judgment. The soul star chakra is key to heightening your relationship with the universe, and it sends divine love and light directly to your soul. Take a moment to lie in silence and place the divine love card 15 centimeters above your head. Close Close your eyes and imagine a gentle, you can't see that, a gentle pink energy flowing through your body from this card directly above your head. Activation guidance. Sit comfortably on the floor holding your pink amethyst. Close your eyes, inhale deeply to align with the crystal's energetic vibration, then exhale with a loud sigh. Continue with deep breathing while allowing the divine white light energy to flow freely without restriction through all of your chakras. Let pink amethyst energy assist you with moving through your experience, being open hearted and assured that you are an irreplaceable part of the universe. Stay in this place for as long as you need. I am able to act upon my initiation and be guided by my experience to fully align with my soul's purpose. Beautiful. And if you don't have pink amethyst, any pink stone will do. Rose quartz is great for the heart chakra. Also, pink tourmaline. Really, clear quartz. Anything that helps you to magnify your energy and just connect. It just feels good sometimes to hold a crystal and feel the energy of it. I often use clear quartz because it helps promote mental clarity and amplify the channel. And then selenite, you can't see, this one's kind of cloudy. Selenite is energy clearing and raises the vibrational frequency. So yeah, you can use whatever crystal you want, and also you can create your own meditation, whatever feels comfortable to you and what can help you drop into your heart. All right, so I'm going to end you with an otherworld oracle, which is very Neptunian, and then leave you be. It's been a while since I used this deck. It helped going through all my decks so I can actually see what I have and what I'm working with. After even getting rid of 12 decks, I still didn't even really put a dent in the decks that I have. Nice. All right, let's see what comes out. What guidance can we leave the collective with? One more. There we go. 19. Saint. 19 is the sun in tarot. 10 is the wheel of fortune. Saint. How are we doing on time? 43? Gosh darn it. All right. This is feminine energy. The saint is a pure representation of divinity and radiates a serenity similar to that of the Madonna. Submissive to God, and she whispers, "Thy will be done." Her pure commitment to his guidance reveals the transformative power of love. Her embodied grace serves as the nectar for the seeker on the path of enlightenment. As a channel between the mortal and the immortal, she weaves her mystical tapestry in the name of love. Through surrender, purity, and devotion, she unlocks the ethereal gates of revelation. Her open heart, deeply rooted in her unwavering faith, enables her to follow the divine calling. Shadow aspects to consider: controlled, no roots, confusion, and blocked heart. So again, it's a focus on the heart chakra. The heart is like a portal. The heart is an electric, a bioelectric field that has its own force of its own. So not only is it a higher vibrational frequency when you're acting from your heart space, but it's also where you, again, that's your compass. So your ability to create, consciously create. All right, so that's all I have for you. I hope this message resonated with you. I already set the intention that it finds who it's meant to find, who it's meant to resonate with. I don't expect it to resonate with everyone. And if it didn't resonate with you, then check back next time. Maybe the next video will. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and comment in the comments what resonated, and what experiences you may be going through. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Keep on rising.